Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine, even on the hottest day? Imagine a place where the air feels heavy with unspoken secrets, where whispers of the past cling to the crumbling walls. Join us as we uncover the haunting truth behind a forgotten farmhouse and the chilling stories it holds. You'll find it off Marrow Creek Road, a narrow dirt path lined with trees older than most graves in the area. At the very end of that path, surrounded by a perimeter of overgrown weeds and poison oak, stands a house. 2 stories, slanted roof, a single chimney cracked down the middle like an old scar. Locals just call it the Hollow House. Its shutters hang loose like crooked teeth. The front porch sags, a broken rocking chair still clinging to one rusted hinge. The white paint, if you could call it that anymore, has long faded to a bruised gray. No one lives there, but the curtains sometimes move. No birds sing when you walk past it, not even the crows. It's not just quiet, it's silent, like the earth itself refuses to make a sound near that place. It's a silence that presses against your chest, like something unseen is watching, waiting, listening. Teenagers dare each other to go inside. Most come out terrified. Some don't even make it to the door. One local, 19-year-old Gabe Miller, made it to the front hallway and promptly collapsed. He later said he saw a child crying in the mirror, but there was no mirror. The town's mailman stopped delivering there in 1989. Said he saw a woman standing in the upstairs window, just watching him. He assumed squatters until he realized her feet weren't touching the floor. Everyone in Cold Hollow knows the house, but no one talks about it, at least not loudly, because everyone's heard the rumors that the family who lived there vanished. No bodies, no blood trails, no sign of a struggle, just gone. And that was just the beginning. The Delson family moved into the farmhouse in 1928. Matthew Delson was a World War I veteran, quiet, deeply religious, and rumored to suffer from what we now call PTSD. His wife, Eleanor, was a schoolteacher. She was known to bake pies for the local church every Sunday. They had 3 children, Henry, age 10, Clara, 8, and little Josephine, who had just turned 5. At first, it seemed idyllic. There are photographs, grainy, black and white shots of a smiling family. The kids playing under a giant oak in the front yard. Matthew holding a hammer during barn repairs. Eleanor hanging laundry in the summer sun. But behind those photos was a different reality. In 1936, a series of letters written by Eleanor Delson were discovered decades later inside a tin box, buried beneath a loose floorboard in the barn. They start off mundane, describing the children, her lesson plans at the school, worries about money. But then the tone shifts. Here's one entry, dated June 2nd, 1936. Matthew doesn't sleep anymore. He says they whisper to him at night. Says the cellar's colder than it should be, even in summer. I think the war broke something in him. Later, July 14th, Henry saw someone in the woods again. He swears it was Josephine, even though she was asleep in her bed. He cried all night, said her eyes were all wrong. And the final letter, dated October 23rd, 1936. There's something in the walls. I hear scratching, and sometimes a voice. It knows my name. If anything happens to us, it started in the cellar. That was the last record of the Delsons. The next morning, the neighbors noticed the Delsons' cows wandering free. The kitchen door was wide open. The house was empty. No signs of forced entry. No luggage missing. Just a bloodstain by the dining room table. And a single word carved into the wood of the back door. Stay. After the Delsons vanished, the house sat abandoned for over a decade. In 1950, a young couple, Paul and Linda Westfield, moved in thinking the rumors were just rural superstition. Linda lasted 6 days. She kept a journal, now archived at the Cold Hollow Historical Society. On day 2, she wrote, "There's something off about the upstairs hallway. Every time I walk it, I feel like someone's just behind me." By day 5, the dreams won't stop. A man screaming, children crying, and always that same word whispered into my ear, "Stay." On day 6, she fled barefoot into the woods. Paul never found her. She was discovered days later in a neighboring county, covered in scratches and babbling about the girl in the closet. Since then, the house has drawn countless investigators, both scientific and spiritual. Paranormal researcher Marie Holt, who visited in 1997, documented the following in her report. Temperature dropped from 72 degrees Fahrenheit to 41 degrees Fahrenheit within 2 minutes in nursery room. EVP captured what sounded like a child's laugh, followed by sobbing. When played back, the voice seemed to say, "She won't let me out." Marie left that night and never returned. She now refuses to speak publicly about the house. But others weren't so lucky. In 2011, a homeless man named Alan Price broke in, looking for shelter. He later told police, "I heard music, a lullaby, then saw this little girl standing in the hallway. Thought she was lost. When I asked her name, her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then her eyes went black." Alan ran until his feet bled. Police found him screaming in the woods. Inside the house, they found strange markings on the bedroom walls, like symbols scratched with fingernails. And in the attic, a rocking chair still swaying. So what exactly is happening inside the farmhouse? Some believe it's haunted by the Delson children, trapped between worlds after a violent murder-suicide. Others argue it's something darker. Records from the 1800s reveal that the land once belonged to a cult-like sect known as the Hollow Communion. They practiced rituals involving children and believed the land itself was a threshold to the beyond. One cryptic passage from a surviving diary reads, "The house was never meant for the living. It is a vessel, a keeper of souls. We must feed it or it hungers." Could the Delsons have unknowingly built on cursed land? Then there's the theory of residual energy, the idea that emotionally charged events leave behind psychic imprints. But even that doesn't explain the intelligent phenomena. Objects moving, voices speaking directly to visitors, physical touches. In 1982, Father Marcus Weller attempted a spiritual cleansing. He wrote, "Something answered me. Not a ghost, not a demon. Something older. It laughed when I prayed. Told me my God had no power there. He died 2 nights later. Heart attack. At 43. His cross was found split in 2. Today, the farmhouse still stands. Despite multiple break-ins, natural decay, and years of weather, it remains structurally intact, like it refuses to fall. Locals avoid it. Even trespassers only stay long enough to snap a photo and leave. And yet it draws people in. The curious, the brave, the foolish. We may never know what really happened to the Delsons, or the Harpers, or the dozens who claim to have seen the little girl in the hallway. But one thing is certain. The farmhouse remembers. It holds every scream, every prayer, every secret, and maybe it's still waiting for someone to listen or for someone to stay. What do you think haunts the old farmhouse? Is it a ghost, a curse, or something even more ancient? Drop your theories below. And if you've ever encountered something like this, we want to hear your story.